one thing I would say is a lot of verses would talk about people going up to heaven, like Jesus. He ascended, which means to go up.
Correct.
Descended means to go into the earth, down. In biblical cosmology, I mean, I can go over a whole bunch of verses on where hell is located, or Sheol, which is down. They say the underworld is down. It talks about, even in Ephesians 4, verse 8, it talks about Jesus, before he ascended, he descended first into the lower parts of the earth. In 2 Philippians 9, it talks about everybody in heaven, everybody on earth, and everybody under the earth, So that's one thing I like to go over. It talks about going up to heaven. Let's see, like Elijah, right? He ends up going up to heaven, right? Jesus, he ascended to heaven. So that there's one way up, one way down. On the globe, it's going to be a lot of different ways up and a lot of different ways down because it's constantly moving, orbiting, and spinning, right?
Correct.
So you would have to wait for that perfect timing to be able to go up to where God's throne is, or you're going to end up going down into somewhere else in space. So that's just
if the space is infinite, there is no up or down, right? No left or right.
That's what they say, yeah. So
because it depends on from what side do you view the planet, let's say.
Yes. So now you like numerology, right? So you like numbers and things like that. Let me go over a lot of the numbers that are involved in the heliocentric model and the globe real quick, all right? So we have, first off, I'll talk about the curvature of the earth. If you do the math, it's every 1 mile is 8 inches squared. So 12 divided by, 8 divided by 12 is 0.66 of a foot. If you go 10 miles, it's going to be 66.6 of a foot. And if you go 100 miles, it's actually 6,666 feet of curvature. Also, we're orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, which is 666. We have the Earth's circumference is 600 times 6 times 6 nautical miles. The 90 degrees, I talked about that earlier. You subtract it from 23.4, which is the Earth axis. We're at 66.6 degrees. Isaac Newton first started writing the theory of gravity in 1666. The force of gravity on Earth is 666 newtons. The speed of sound is equal to 666 knots. The diameter of the moon is 6 times 6 times 60. The distance to the moon is 6 times 60 times 666. The Antarctic and Arctic celestial sphere is 66.6 degrees and 66.6 degrees south latitude, 66.6 degrees north latitude, and the surface temperature on Uranus, now my anus, is -6 times 6 times 6 degrees. And there's more to it too. There's more of those. So you see all the sixes involved, okay? So I like to go over that just to kind of tie everything into a big bow, of the sixes involved. And then one thing I'll also talk about is Genesis 2 verses 1 through 4. This will tell you that the earth is finished, and also it also tells you the history of the heavens and the earth. It says, Genesis 2 verses 1 through 4 says, "Thus the heavens and the earth and the hosts of them were finished. On the seventh day God ended his work which he had done. He had rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because he had rested on his work which God has created and made. This is the history of the heavens and the earth, when they were created, and the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens." Okay? I bring that up because he's telling you each day that he's creating it, and he's telling you this is the history of the heavens and the earth. You don't need to go to scientists or go to science books or go to people that are giving out theories. He's giving you the history of the heavens and the earth, the day they were created and how they were created, So I think that's interesting. And I always like to make sure I end with us understanding that a lot of us that believe in the flat earth or believe in biblical cosmology, sometimes people worship the creation and not the creator. I talked about it earlier. Colossians 1 verses 15 through 18. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by him all things were created in heaven that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through him and for him. He is before all things, and all things in him all things consist. He is the head of the body of the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things that we may have preeminence, or that he may have preeminence. Okay, so all I want to say is we need to worship the creator, not the created. So a lot of people focus just on flat earth. The whole Bible, there's a lot of different things besides just the creation. So focus on the creator. But that's everything I have on my notes. That's the show in a nutshell. And how'd you like it? Did you enjoy it?
First of all, the research is incredible. All the verses, it's like literally like a scientific paper.
Yeah, thank you.